Welcome, Alyssa. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your experience here in our training program on family constellations. It's an honor to have you here today. I do appreciate your presence here so much.
Thank you for having
So just maybe introduce yourself a little bit and tell us what's your occupation and maybe what resonated with you when you first heard about family constellations.
All right. So I am my occupation right now. I'm a yoga instructor here in Manchester, New Hampshire. I did hear about you when I lived in Orlando, Florida, a couple years back when I was seeking out a family constellation instructor. But time went on, life happened. I ended up here, and I had the time available for me to really sit down and seek out a training that resonated with where I want to kind of go in my life, really. So I honestly, I just looked up. I just went online on Google, typed in family constellators in Orlando because I remembered your name. So I was re-looking for you. And I refound you, and it just aligned in the same way that you were opening up your first training. I think what really called to me was I actually did a little mini workshop when I was first introduced to family constellation a couple years before moving here. And they presented it in a way that was very easy to understand, very accessible to everyone. And they kind of had us all like stand up, and then they picked one person from the audience, and they're like, okay, like, what is it that you're, going through right now in your life? What is it that, it might be a little bit challenging? And they asked specifically in reference to their family. That was the opening question. And a woman came up, and she was just sharing that she, had some problems with her mother and her relationship. And the woman that was doing the workshop was just like, okay, amazing. Like, let's do like a mini constellation to show you how this type of healing work can be beneficial in your life. And she took each person, gave every person a role, be like, you're the mother, you're the father, you're, I forgot the woman's name, but the person that was constellating, you're this person. And they did it. And it was like, mind you, it was only like 15, 20 minutes, nothing crazy. But I knew, like, when I walked out of that workshop, I was just like, I need to know more. I need to know more. And at the time I was, busy with life. I was a server at the time, full time in the hospitality industry. I was doing my 200-hour yoga teacher training at the time in Orlando as well. And I had a lot of different projects. So I didn't have the time or the space to direct my energy towards that until I found you in the beginning of 2021. So that's how I found out about it and how I was drawn to it.
How amazing, how the synchronicity of life is, taking you towards what you are ready to see, because you really put that intention out there, and then you got here, and then you got what you were looking for, I guess. I hope.
I did. Yes. No, I did.
And how was your experience also online, because you were taking this program online?
Yes. So first of all, I apologize for my puppy. I know if he's barking right now.
Collaborating. Collaborating.
He's like sending us energy right now. So I was predominantly, I think I was the only one that was consistently online the entire training program. Some people came on and off. They were online and in person. So I think the experience as a whole, I was a little hesitant at first, as I feel most people are, transitioning through any education or anything online, because these questions pop up in your head. Am I going to have the same experience? Is it going to be as beneficial? Is it going to be as connected, like all these different things. I did have doubts, but to be so honest, like all those doubts went away, like even in like the first weekend. And I was just like, and I honestly, and then I found myself like, as it progressed, I was like, oh, I really like the availability of, you know, like I can just, like, you know, walk over here, like turn off my camera if I need to like make a cup of tea real quick, come back on. Like it's just like accessibility. There's something for everyone at the end of the day. So I found that I really enjoyed something that at first I was a little hesitant for. And Maya did, I mean, you did an amazing job at making sure that throughout the training, like all the angles were seen, we saw everyone's faces, we heard everyone correctly. Like it was as if I was there, like there wasn't any difficulties on that end. The training experience, wow, where do I even start on that? It was so transformational. I think that's the best word that I can use to really just encapsulate everything together. You know, you went through the foundation. We started with the history of family constellation. We started with, you always have to start there. You always have to find that starting point. And from that foundation, you were able to weekend by weekend introduce like little teaspoons at a time, kind of like building blocks. Like, okay, this is my foundation. Okay, like a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And in a way that was so understandable, so easy to not only retain, but easy to be like, okay, I have this information. And every weekend I found myself in this kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Like every weekend I was like, okay, I have this information. Okay. And then the next week I'm like, okay, how do I put this information into my life? Like, how do I integrate it into what I'm doing right now, or how I'm doing right now, or what's going on? And I think that was, for me, the best part of it. The fact that like, I'd have this little reboot once a month, with not only myself, but with my fellow students as well. And it was just, you created such a beautiful sacred space for all of us to just feel safe in being our most authentic self, and feel safe in a learning environment. So that I feel, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. I'm here listening to you, and then I'm like, wow, because it's seeing the perspective from the online, you know, but because I'm here teaching and some people come here, but of course I'm here with the people online and here with the people in person. And also we were mixing.
Yes.
Remember, we were doing, okay, now you're online, you're gonna work with this person that is here on site. So you got the two perspectives of how to constellate even a group, if you were gonna be online and people were gonna be here on site on one place.
Even the group, that was even, for me, that was even more beautiful, because being able to do a group constellation, and then me kind of like, I felt like it's one thing being in person and observing, but I think it's a completely different aspect being online and not even being in the space, like in the same physical space, and still being able to tap in and be that observer role. Like I felt like I was like, you know, that eagle, taking it really far back, like from the mind, the bird's eye view, that's what it's called.
The eagle's eye, yes. And not only that, but we also got to see that nothing can limit the spirit and what it wants to show. And then we were just talking before coming here about the mystery of the constellation that we cannot explain with words, because there are not enough words to explain what happens there. It just happens. The field shows everything, and it doesn't matter if you're online or on site, it always shows up.
No, you're absolutely right. I completely agree with that. And we were speaking about the mystery of it all. And the best thing that I've been sharing this with people that I know here, sharing this with people that I know in Orlando, that I know live closer to your on-site location. The best thing I would say is, if you feel drawn to it, you're feeling drawn to it for a reason. That's it. That's like the point blank. Like if you feel called to it, and this is something that I don't even only share this like on this platform. I share this with everybody. I end almost every single yoga class with that as well. Always listen to your heart. Always listen to those little gut feelings, those little feelings that feel like an impulse of like, this feels right. I don't know why, but always listen to that because that's source, that's God, that's divine energy, earth mother, whatever you want to label it as that resonates with you. There's a reason that you're being called to it. And that's
and also your soul is taking you to those places. Well, my next question was going to be, would you recommend this program? But I see you're already doing that.
Yes, I would 100%. Yes, I'm already recommending it.
Thank you, Alyssa, for sharing this with others, because I like people to see. And I was also telling you, how am I going to explain this? And you have to experience it. You have to live, be in it to be able to understand it. And also because it's not about the mind, but we're tapping very deep into our unconscious, all that is deep within ourselves that we haven't been able to tap into. We don't have the awareness of that. And then when we get to be there, we're like, oh, that's new. I didn't see that within myself. I never got to see this before. And so it's like very awakening, I would say, and transformative, as you said. So thank you for sharing.
The awareness is very key to what you're saying, because this training has really, walking, and I'm speaking, from my own experience of being going through already a kind of training that's already kind of a little tapped in spiritually. In any yoga training, you are, it's not only a workout, as we all know. You're doing spiritual work, you're reading scripture, you're tapping in already to maybe something that is already kind of a mystery, is already unknown. So for someone that already kind of has that background, and I'm speaking to anybody, energy practitioners, masseuse, holistic therapists, any psychiatrists, any people that are already kind of in that field, the awareness that was I was able to tap into this training was something that I've never experienced before and didn't even know existed. And I say that with so much humbleness as well in my heart, that Maya is, in my opinion, you are, in my opinion, like a master teacher. Like that is part of your dharma in this lifetime, is to share this work, is to be able to share this healing with others, and to share those different perceptions that a lot of us might not even know that we might be carrying. And that for me was the biggest thing. I found every weekend that my perception shifted a little bit more, just a little bit more every single time, for the better, for my highest self.
Yes, how beautiful. And not only that, but I'd like you to maybe share a little bit of what we were talking before opening this interview. And it was like how fast sometimes your perspective, when it changes, how it also influence your outside world and the people that you are surrounded by, and people sense it, and then you relate differently, and you don't know how the magic happens, but it happens.
Yeah.
So it's like, just put yourself in this experience. And I do say it from my heart as well, because I believe this is my service. I believe we are all in this moment in humanity transcending towards a different or more amplified consciousness. And part of what we have to do is transcend our past and all of these memories that are in our DNA that we have been carrying, that we need to liberate in order to get to that new consciousness. It's very simple. It doesn't take more words to explain it, but it's pretty much that. And I'm very honored too that someone says yes and gives me the opportunity to help them, facilitate from A to Z. As I always say, this is my house, I'm here. Someone comes, enters in this house, do this work, and continues, because that's pretty much what I do as a facilitator. And thank you so much, Alyssa, for sharing. I so appreciate the words that came from your heart. So thank you.
Thank you.